Hello, 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 and welcome. Happy Thursday, everybody. I don't know why I can't remember what day it is because this happens every Thursday, but hey, that's me. So I am very happy to be here today, and I am really happy that we have a special guest with us. But before I bring her on, just a couple of announcements from me. I have a couple of classes coming up. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Joy. Hang on. Hello. Hello. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for being here. I've got a couple of classes coming up. One on February 20th, and that is my master class on setting intentions, and it's the art of setting effective intentions, and that just sold out. So I will be offering it again later on in the year, but 2 days after that, on February 22nd, 222, I have a class on radiant energy. And this is a great class if you are a budding intuitive, because we are going to talk about auras and how you can learn to read them and interpret them. Tickets are available on Eventbrite, or if you go to my website, and I will put it here in chat. Just go to jenrosemedium.com and click on the events tab. You'll see what I've got coming up. And then there is a special event coming up on February 15th, but I will wait until I bring our guest up to talk about that. And speaking of our guest, you guys have heard me talk about her for the last 2 weeks. She is an amazing, very gifted psychic medium. She is also a paranormal investigator and a Reiki master, and one of my best friends. So let's bring her up, Tammy Christine.
Hello! It's still Christmas at my house, just saying. No judgment.
There is nothing wrong with Christmas year-round.
Oh, well, mine has been just a time thing, so.
I understand.
It's still being enjoyed.
Oh, you already have fans. Hold on.
Hey, Joy. Hey, Brittany.
Yes, she is awesome. Aw,
Joy. Aw, I love that.
Yay. Oh my God. Hey, Steph. Yay.
Hey, lady.
Awesome. I love that we have so many people with us today. I was very excited to have you on because I did talk about you for the last couple of weeks. And I wanted to bring you up and give you all of your flowers because you're amazing and you're wonderful. And I love working with you.
So likewise.
Thank you. I gave you a little intro.
Janet.
Hey, Janet. Hi, how are you?
Brittany.
Oh my goodness. Everybody, thank you. See, you come on and people watch.
Oh, no, don't say that.
No. So you know what that means? We're going to have to do a podcast together.
That would be cool. We could get some really cool guests. That would be totally doable.
We definitely could.
Future.
Absolutely. But I am going to let you, and I know a lot of these people know you, but this gets rewatched a good bit on YouTube. So for those who may not know you, introduce yourself.
Okay, let me start with the normal stuff. Let me reverse everything. Hey, Janine. I am the mother of two beautiful children who are not children anymore. They are young adults. They are living in my home, still going to college. One of them graduated, has a great job, but it's them and my little puppy McDuff and my husband. I'm a court reporter naturally by day. That's my daytime career. And it's funny, Jen, because the court reporting, and I know I've talked to you about this before. Hi, Matt. How are you? Hi, Tabitha. The court reporting, the court reporting has actually allowed me, because I can't talk when I'm doing my job. I have the little writer like you see in the courthouse on TV, except I work freelance. So I travel, I do depositions all over the state, all over wherever I'm needed. Wherever the witness is where we end up going usually. Right. And as a result of that court reporting, not being able to talk, but you're taking it all in and you're absorbing and you're constantly learning and you're listening. You're actively, constantly listening. It has improved my clairaudience for mediumship, like naturally, in a way that I never would have expected. Mm-hmm. And I'm really starting to see linear drawn lines to my career and why I have been able to open up my mediumship so quickly and eloquently. Mm-hmm. So that's just a little about my day life. But yes, I am a certified Reiki master. And I absolutely love healing work. Love it. Do it on my dog, even when my dog is not feeling well. It's a wonderful thing to be able to take a client that is in pain or having fibromyalgia, different issues, and to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to, and I do a little bit different than some Reiki masters. I use crystal therapy. And what I mean by that is I take your zodiac, I couple it with the crystals that are good for you and your zodiac and make it more of a cosmic astrological thing. And then I use those within the treatment session to help you with whatever it is physically you're having issues with, mind, body, and soul. So we come from all three directions. Mm-hmm. So
that a testimonial on your work.
Sure.
Master. Sure. Tammy works on me when I need her. I'm like, I need a session. And she's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And she really helped me. I was having some physical issues. I get very tense muscles. I have fibromyalgia. And I was amazed at how much better I felt after the first session with Tammy. And then I come back to you periodically when I kind of need a tune-up. You're wonderful. So I just want to
thank you. Thank you. And it's energy work like that. It does take a toll. You have to know how to protect and take care of your own physical body. And that goes for mediumship as well. So anyone that knows me knows that I'm a huge about getting on my pulpit and saying, if you're out there in this universe, if you do paranormal investigation, if you do things that you're mediumship, anything like that, where you're opening your chakras and you're opening yourself up to things that obviously are there, you need to be well protected. You need to understand how to protect your energies, how to ground, how to cleanse, how to clear, pull in your aura when necessary. It's very much akin to intuition, but at the same time, you're taking that intuition and you're stepping it up a level and you're really figuring out how to see into that as a means of survival. Because, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so I have a question for you, because we were talking about your mediumship and then the energy and the importance of protecting it.
Yes.
And especially when we work with the paranormal. So for you, what came first? Was it the mediumship or was it the paranormal investigation?
Right. Okay. So I'll make a long story short. When I was 8 years old, that is when I actually remember seeing my first full-bodied apparition. So technically, theoretically, that was there from birth. That was something that very young age, I realized that something's not right. And, it's funny because I was born back in 1971. Well, in 71, we didn't speak of these things. These things were keep it on the down low, because if you tell anyone that you're hearing voices, or if you tell anyone that you see something, you're going to the loony bin up the street. That's the way it was. And, you know, I know I'm putting it very bluntly, but that's literally the way it was. So you kind of kept those things to yourself. Hey, Jess.
Jess, welcome, sweetheart.
Hey, pretty lady yourself.
Aww. We love Jess.
Yeah, I can't wait to get I just got some specialty pieces from Jess, so I'm excited to get them. She's done a really great job.
I have some of her pre-mades, a lot of her pre-mades.
Yes.
They're amazing. And Jess, I'm going to plug you a little later because your work is fantastic.
She is.
Yes.
She's amazing. Yeah. So basically the mediumship, I think, was there all along, but I didn't embrace it. Okay. I did not embrace it at all. I was more the kid that was terrified with the covers over my head going, oh my gosh, what are these things? I couldn't talk to anyone about it. I actually moved my bedroom from an upstairs bedroom because I kept having these strange UFO dreams every single night. And one night I woke up in the morning and I had mud on my feet, and I did not sleepwalk to my knowledge. And I just thought, okay, this is weird. So I literally moved my bedroom to a downstairs basement bedroom, which was actually larger, and I thought it was going to be great. Well, that's where I've had my first experience. That is also where every single night I would throw the covers over my head, and literally just, they would never approach me, but they were always there. And they were always, I just want to explain, because I've seen them one other time in my adult life, but they were kind of like Celtic monks, I want to say. And they would just stand there and they would just stare, and it was so uncomfortable. I didn't feel threatened. I was scared because I didn't understand.
Yeah.
So that went on for a period of time and kind of actually stopped when we moved out of that home. And then we went to Texas for 1 year when I was in 3rd grade, and we went right back to that same home because it didn't sell, and we had to move back into the same home.
Ooh.
So we weren't there very long, though, a couple more years, and then we were back to Houston again. So we kind of bounced between the two with my father's work.
Right.
And I just remember really honestly telling my parents, especially my mom. My mom was more intuitive. She was more open to these things. And she would just kind of say, shh, just don't talk about it. Shh, don't talk about it. My grandmother was very spiritual, and she wanted to talk about all those things, but in a really roundabout way too, because she was Pentecostal, and Pentecostal, and then being Native American, and none of it kind of fell together. It was like off the table. Yes. But she one time told me, when I pass away, I'm going to come back and tell you and talk to you from beyond. And I was like, okay, Grandma, you know what?
I keep telling my husband of that.
Yeah, I know, right? Everyone I know, you're the message. No. But yeah, she actually did do that on one of my anniversaries with my husband, and it was extremely profound. It was another experience. But I shut it down for a long number of years because I didn't know how to protect myself. And I had been learning all along on my own without even realizing that I was learning. Yeah. So the passing of my father is when basically the paranormal investigating came in. I had just simply answered a Facebook post from someone in my local area. And this was right before I opened back up.
Right.
And I actually had this message, and she was looking to have people come join her for a team. And I said, she was a mutual friend of a mutual friend. And I said, oh, me, on a Facebook post, never expecting to get a phone call in a million years. And within minutes, I had a phone call, and it was like, hey, do you want to meet? I have something going on this weekend. I'd love for you to come. Let's see if you're a fit. And we've been pretty thick with the group with Afterlife Paranormal Investigations of Oklahoma since.
Right.
So the mediumship was always there, but I put it on the back burner. The paranormal came in, and honestly, I have to just say it was probably just because universe, everything falls, your cards fall into place.
They do. They do. Everything is divine timing. I mean, I know you and I have very similar backgrounds for how we came in.
Right.
So I totally get it. Get it.
And then from there, my father passed and had an extremely profound evening. Just moments after he passed in my own home. And from there, I heard my dad, who did not believe in the afterlife. He did not believe. He thought, you're gone and that's it, and that's it. You're done. And I heard his voice say, "You were right." 3 words. That was it. And it changed me. I dropped to my knees. I said, I can't forsake this any longer. I know who I am. This is what my soul has needed my whole life. I have felt like always that I was intended for something more, that I was supposed to help people. I don't know how. I never knew what to do that. What kind of an outlet to have for that. And suddenly it was all very clear.
Right. And I mean, that's how it happens for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Is that we go through something that wakens us back up. Like the death of your dad was very traumatic.
Right.
I went through a very traumatic period in my life with an abusive marriage, ugly divorce, substance abuse. So
right.
It can happen in any number of ways.
Right.
And I think a lot of people suppress it as a child. They just do. They do. But your story it resonates so deeply with me because it mimics mine a great deal.
Yeah.
So now I want to ask you, you are opening back up to these abilities. So what did you do? Did you immediately start trying to use them, or did you start to learn about them?
Yeah, so I think both, to answer your question. The first thing I did, I was not jump straight into mediumship, because I feel like doing that would have been wholly irresponsible.
Right.
I wanted to learn about energy. I wanted to learn about things like I know I frequented the Gaia network.
Yeah.
I frequented the Shift network. I took little classes about energy and, just all these different crystal classes, energy classes about grounding, just anything I could sink my teeth into. I read a million books. Books were huge.
Yep.
And when you start with one and you get through it in 2 days and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so much information, and you're earmarking pages and you're like, this makes so much sense to me now. And it did, because I'd had those experiences that I could literally go back and draw to already, but I now understood the why behind the experience. And then at that point, that's when I said, you know what? I know I'm already this, but I need to better and educate myself and really dig down and take classes. And I want to observe other people. I want to see what others are doing. I want to learn, I want to learn platform. I want to learn private. I want to learn kind of rules and regulations. What are people saying? How are they handling this? What are they doing? What's acceptable? What's not? But I always come back to my firm base of ethics and morals. Do no harm.
Do no harm. And that is our number one rule as mediums, as psychics. I mean, as spiritual healers.
Yes.
The number one rule has to be do no harm.
Yes.
So, and we have seen, because we've worked together on some cases through when we were both with the Warren Legacy Foundation.
Yes.
We have seen what can happen when someone works with a person who may be having some experiences, and either they don't know what they're doing as a medium or psychic, or they are flat out scamming.
Right.
And the incredible amount of damage you can do.
Yep.
And even if it's not intentional, even if you're like, okay, I've got these abilities, I can go help, right? I can help. Not if you don't know what you're doing.
Yes, because even when we do residential, investigation on our team, or you have to have a sense of everything you say is being sucked up by that client, and
Yeah.
they are believing you.
Yeah, of course they
And
are.
so it's wholly important for you not to go in and just, okay, this is what I get, blah, 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 blah. And you have no validation. You have
Yeah.
nothing whatsoever. And now you've scared the family even worse because they believe you.
Mm-hmm.
And now their own energy has been affected, which in turn can create what we call an egregore, which is another thought form, energetic entity, which
Yeah.
can do all kinds of things around the home, playing
Yeah.
off your energies.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it's just, you
And
really have to be careful.
you have to be careful. And I know we both work this way when we work cases. We do not want the client to know we're mediums right away. So,
And that's also true, because once you tell them that, they're like gravitated. They're like, oh,
exactly.
can you tell me what my grandpa, how is he doing?
Or they will bypass everyone else on the team
Correct.
who is trying to help to get to the medium.
Correct.
Is that right what they're saying? Is that right what they're saying?
Right.
And all it does is it hinders the ability to help
Right.
the client.
Right. And
So,
I
never say I'm a medium. If I'm on a paranormal investigation, absolutely not.
And our team is the same way. We keep it quiet. If it's a residential case where we're working with a family or a client.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point it might have to come out, once we have validatable information and we're moving forward and we need to help them. But for the most part, yes, we try to just handle things. And I know that for me, for our team, it's super important that we try to debunk everything. So we'll have something happen with equipment, because we like to be that team that's well-rounded. So not only do we want to validate information mediums are getting in a form of historical data or something that can be validated, absolutely, we also do use equipment, but we know that equipment has its fallacies. We know this. When we have all these teams out here and they're using, the spirit candle, and they're using the cat balls and all these things, that's great. Use them. Fine. They're wonderful tools. Fine. Use them. But is the information from what's happening there jiving with what you can actually validate? And it all needs to work and commingle together. And when it does, you have a pretty solid case. So we really work hard at debunking, and that's why we don't put a lot of content out, because paranormal investigating isn't walking into a home and you've got 50 things just happened. It's just not the way it works.
No, and unfortunately, paranormal entertainment television, while it was never intentional for it to do the kind of harm it's done, it has done a lot of harm.
Right. And it's not even their fault necessarily, because they have to edit. They're putting together a show. That's the point, is for entertainment. Mm-hmm. So it has to be edited. They have to do these things. Yeah. They want to show you the highlights. That's the point of it. But people just need to realize that, because it's funny when we do events, we'll have, 20, 30 people there, and we don't do events often, but we do want to, try to do at least one big event a year for our team. And it's funny because we'll have all these people, they're just like, nothing's happening. And we're like, yeah.
It's not.
You might be there a whole weekend and you have 3 amazing, crazy things you cannot debunk or explain happen over the course of that entire weekend. And it's a successful weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you count every second, that's not the way it works.
So this past weekend, I was at the Hanover Tavern Paracon, and who was I listening to? It might have been Steve Dills, but he was talking about when they do the public investigations at the tavern. Mm-hmm. He has actually had people come up to him to complain because there's no activity. And why isn't this like it is on whatever ghost show?
Right.
You won't mention.
Right.
Why is it like that?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they really believe that they're going to go into a location and they're immediately going to get EVPs and things are going to move and shadow figures are going to be all over the place. And it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't. And but I will tell you when things do happen. Yeah, Stephanie's right. She says because spirits don't perform on cue, and you are correct.
You are absolutely correct.
They do not.
They do not.
And sometimes they just get irritated and they don't want to because you want them to.
A lot. Now, I have been on some public investigations where it just, don't tell anybody I'm a medium, but I can feel the spirits and they're like, and so they don't do anything.
They don't know. They're like, yeah. They're like, really? This is the same old worn out, what's your name? Are you a boy or a girl?
Yeah,
exactly. And we all do it. Every one of us does it. We all start like that. And
I know.
It's just habit. It's habitual.
It's habit.
And nothing wrong with it at all. Because you have to open the conversation somehow, But I have found more often than not when we go into locations and we're just being silly and we're like, hello and hi house and who's here. And we just came over to hear your stories. And then we sit around and maybe we're just chatting about everyday life. That's when we start having weird stuff happen.
To connect. Yeah.
Yep.
That's when they start to connect. It's just they feel comfortable and they'll communicate.
Right.
So, I mean, we each have locations, and I'm not going to name the locations, but we each have locations where the spirits know us and they're comfortable communicating.
Oh, yeah, a little too comfortable sometimes.
Stephanie, personally, I'd be irritated too if a bunch of uninvited people showed up in my house.
Right, yes. I know. So true.
Yes.
So true. And I will tell you,
Tabitha, yeah, the house must trust you.
It's true, Tabitha. Yeah. I will tell you a little too close for comfort sometimes too. I actually did a reading last night and we were talking about this because I was reading for a fellow Oklahoma different team. He's on a different team, but he had called me for a reading and we were discussing this. And there's this one location that, it can be totally dead the whole time you're there, or it can be active. There's no rhyme or reason. But there is a resident entity there that everybody calls him the angry cowboy. And I'm always like very nice to him and very cordial and make sure that when I walk in the door, I greet him and hello, how are you today? Are you still, you still up there? What are you doing? Do you want to play poker later? We just kind of like interact. You just talk like you would a friend. And the crazy thing about it was the last time we were there, well, it was 2 times ago actually, but he got a little too cozy, and it was you would hear 2 knocks on the ceiling, and then I would hear the train coming because there was a train that was just a house behind her, and then I would get real uncomfortable. Like I could tell he was creeping. I could feel it.
Yeah.
And after that happening on the every hour for about 3 hours, the 4th time, it was 4 something in the morning, still laying there, still feeling the same thing. You could not miss that train because it would vibrate. You would feel the vibration. And I'm big on thinking that locations that are near train tracks or that close, it's something with the vibration. Frequency and vibration amps up the energy.
Yes.
Does. Yeah. So the 4th time, sucker crawled in bed with me and was like spooning me, and that was a little too close for comfort. And my heart goes up, and I'm going, I'm like, no, you don't. And I thought no one in the world is going to believe me on this. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Why would I even make that up? But that's nuts. And then I reviewed the video, and we do see, before you see my arm wishing back and forth saying, get out of here. You do literally see a shadow come over the top of my head, and my blanket gets pushed down. And and it's so they can get too cozy with you too, I think.
they can. They can get a little too comfy. And it's like, no.
Exactly. Yes. Food. I'm like, no, you don't. That's only my husband's place. Get out of here.
It's funny because when they become comfortable, and we're not sure what their perception is from where they are,
Right.
But when they become comfortable, they do want to be closer to you. I have a location here, not too far. We've talked about this location
Yeah.
that I go to.
Weems Bosch,
And
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And the gazebo, there is a certain spirit that just stays around that gazebo. He was a Civil War soldier. He died on that land because they had a field hospital on it. But he's very friendly when I come. And then when I started taking my dog, when I started taking Jaeger will bound up to that gazebo, and he's so happy. And I believe that spirit is petting my dog.
Aw.
And because I can feel that energy, and it's very light and happy. And so I will periodically take my dog to go visit him.
Yeah. And pets are super sensitive. Pets, I mean, I catch McDuff like just, he'll be looking at something. I mean, clearly he sees something that I don't.
Right.
You know,
Right.
they're very sensitive. And
Yeah.
we should never forsake that when pets are behaving in a manner and there's no reason for it. It's definitely that they see something or sense something. They have better hearing than us too.
Yeah.
So that's also, you know, all their senses are more amplified than our senses. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
I always pay attention because and I think people who are watching, who we have a lot of people who are either mediums or
Yeah.
sensitives watching, they know that even when we are either protected or kind of shut down, we're never completely shut down.
Right.
Right. So we will get what I call passerbys coming through. And sometimes Jaeger or the cats will feel and see them before I do. And then I'll notice and I'll tap in. I'm like, oh, okay. So, now I've got a visitor. How can I help you?
That happens to me too. That's usually in the nighttime, when you're hanging it up for the night and you're getting in that comfortable place where you're just starting to try to fall asleep, but you're not yet sleepy. You're just getting there. That's when I notice that a lot with mine too. And I'll go, what is up? Okay. And then feel into it.
How can I help you? And if you say, you know what, come back tomorrow. And
exactly. Boundaries are important.
Boundaries are important. But it's never I don't think I've had anyone that has come through that has made me feel uncomfortable. And then we also know what to do when that happens.
Right.
So,
right.
And it's a lot of situational awareness, and it's a lot of practice and being in tune with your own abilities and being able to discern what you're feeling.
It is. And it's a learning process that never ends, because the next day you may have a different experience and it's the first time for that experience. And then you're like, okay, I just learned something else. It's never going to stop. There never should be complacency within mediumship ever.
No,
it changes, it ebbs and flows. It's a daily thing. And I think you can attest that back to just when you were a kid, thinking, oh, this is my sixth sense, right? This is my intuition. I'm maybe I'm an empath and I know that. And I cry at, the silliest little thing, but it's because it affects me on a deep level. All of that happens when you are littler. And I say littler because I believe that all of us are born with this.
Absolutely.
Every one of us.
Absolutely.
The difference is life gets in the way.
Yeah.
Life gets in the way, and it causes us to just be in the present now, and we're too busy running our daily errands and our tasks and our jobs and what we have to get done in a day, and there's no time. And I know everyone out there, if there's a single person out there or even watching right now that says, oh yeah, I have time to get everything done and then I'm just sitting around bored, sign me up. I can never get through everything.
No. And it's so funny because it's almost as though, and it's not almost, let me rephrase that. Spirit knows when you're ready. They know when you're ready. And that's when things begin to really open up. So they know. what do we have? Janine visiting me in the bathroom. I told them that if they want to come back during the day, that is how you do it, Janine. Awesome.
And, you know, and in relation to her bathroom comment, and I'll share this with you guys, and I don't think I've really ever shared this with anyone on anything I've ever been on. I might be putting my foot in my mouth right now, but I'm just going to share.
It's so, okay. Edit it out later.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, it's really okay. I'll make it clean. But no, they do. They come at inopportune moments all the time, and you have to. And what I mean by inopportune moments, it could be a moment you are with your husband. Okay. It happens. And it's the weirdest. And like you're like, oh Lord, geez, please. No, get out of here. Get out, come back.
Not now.
True. So true. And that's a part of the learning is the boundaries and being able to shut that off and say no one and set your intention beforehand. I've learned how to do that because I've had cases I've worked even where a spirit has come to me the literal day after they have been murdered. And, you and I talked about this case. And it's so weird how it tied back to a friend of a friend and it was her best friend. Yeah. And along with that came the other dark side of what actually happened. And it was at a very inopportune time. And you literally have to have your boundaries and you have to have your intentions and you have to be able to do that beforehand a lot of the times rather than waiting until it happens. Mm-hmm. So that bathroom comment, that's absolutely 100%
Tabitha, yeah, they love the bathroom. Trust me. They do. I have one of the weirdest bathroom experiences I had, and this was when I first started really studying and taking the classes. I was upstairs getting ready. I was over the sink because I was brushing my teeth and I'd just gotten out of the shower. And I felt fingertips run down my spine. And I was like, no. Oh, no, you do not. But it's scary. Yeah.
And you know what else is funny, Jen? And I also was talking about this in with my reading that I did last night was, I've always had this weird sense that all of our loved ones that are with us, that have departed, that are still with us, they can see everything. Well, we learned this in mediumship. They know what's still happening here on the earth plane. They know that you just got married. They know that you maybe had a baby. They know that they don't miss those monumental things. And they could be around even more than that. Well, then I got to thinking as a young child, in my teens, wow, if that's true, if that's the case, and they're always with us and they see everything, then they know every single thing, every misstep that I make, everything that I do. Oh, it became almost like wow, I got to be a better person.
You can freak yourself out.
You can totally freak yourself out.
Yeah.
So it's just, and we were talking about that last night, how do you deal with that? How do you know that they're there and that they can see and well, you do be a better person. I don't know what else to say. You try to be the best person you can be, but you falter.
The best person you can be, but you also show yourself some grace because your loved ones understand that you're human, just like they were, that you're going to make mistakes sometimes, that, it's just going to happen.
Yeah. And they're not there to make our decisions for us, nor lead us down a primrose path. They're there for guidance. They're there for assistance. And I do believe in times of severe trauma or severe tragic things that they can, I feel like they can step in and help thwart those or help. But for the most part, it's left because we have to learn our own lessons and make our choices. And that's kind of like a cardinal rule.
We do. And it is all about our own free will, and the choices that we make. And it doesn't matter at the end of the day, who is watching us, because we're going to be who we're going to be. Yeah, we're going to be who we're meant to be, who, you know, wherever we are on our path, that is who we are going to be. So, you know, it is what it is. So you were talking about you had a client last night. I know for a fact that you have become a favorite medium in Malaysia. Tell us about that.
It's so weird. It's so weird. When the paranormal and mediumship collide is what we're going to call this story. Absolutely. Yeah. So I did a reading for a girl over in Malaysia. At the time, I did not know anything about her. I didn't know she was an influencer or like had a blog or like anything.
Right.
Just someone brought this person to me and said, hey, I have this girl. She might want a reading. She contacted me individually. And during her reading, which was an incredible reading, okay, readings vary. And everyone needs to know this as well. Every reading is, thank you, Tabitha. Every reading is not going to be like out of this world. Oh my God, it's absolutely insane, because our energy has to meld and blend with the spirit world. Sometimes our energy doesn't match the person on the other side's energy.
No.
So it's a very tedious procedure that has to be done for that to happen. You've got to raise your vibration. They have to lower theirs. And if their energy doesn't still match your energy, you might struggle a little bit. Yeah. It is our job to work beyond that and to figure out how to make that better. And that's why I continue to educate myself and go to classes and practice, and we'll never stop that. But yeah, so she had a reading, and within her hour-long reading, her dad's voice imprinted on the reading. And she sent that out to her mother, her friends.
Was she recording the reading?
She was recording it, and I did not know she was recording it. I allow anyone to record, but I didn't even know. Didn't ask, didn't worry about it, didn't know.
Right, right.
And she sent it to her mom. She sent it to her sister. She sent it out to several people and said, listen to this. Isn't this crazy? And it was basically when I was saying, your dad is wanting you to understand. And then I'm telling her stuff. And you hear his voice go, yeah, in between my sentence. And she said she sent it out to her mom, to her family. Everyone was just blown away. They were in complete and utter shock. So it's really cool that paranormal met mediumship, and she had that experience. Now, what that promoted and started, though, was a whole lot of other people from Malaysia who thought that when they got a reading, their loved one would imprint on the
She's like a Malaysian influencer, right, on TikTok?
She is.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. So
yeah. So it's just crazy. Jo, I don't know if she wants me to say her name or not, so I'll probably forego that. But she made basically a video wherein she clipped the part where he says that and clipped some other little pieces, and she posted it, and she contacted me and said, hey, I just posted this. Is this okay with you? And I said, that's crazy nuts. And yes, it's okay. But I never would have expected what happened after, which was just immediately like tons of people trying to, and it's, they're 14 hours ahead of us. Mm-hmm. But it is not easy to schedule.
I know you have done some really weird hour readings for you.
I have. And I don't like doing readings in the morning. I'm not awake enough. I'm not awake.
No readings before 10 a.m. for me.
Yes.
No.
Yes. And I actually read last night at 9 after class. I read for a beautiful Malaysian couple last night, and they were adorable. And it just made me, mediumship is, for me, isn't about what I'm collecting. It's not about the money. It's not about the fame and notoriety. Mediumship for me, my goal, my present to myself with this is because I watch the healing. I watch the comfort. I see it wash over them. Mm-hmm. I feel like and I've had people come back and tell me that it's totally changed their lives. They now feel so much better, and they can rest. They can be easy about what's happened.
And that's something I wish more people understood about what
I
we
agree.
do. Because if you get into this, if you are using your abilities just because you want the popularity, or you're hoping for like, oh, maybe I'm going to get a paranormal show or
Exactly.
whatever, or I'm going to be like featured at Paracons, whatever it is. That's not what this is about.
Yeah. If it
And
happens organically, if an opportunity arises,
I'm not talking
that's
about
fine.
I'm not talking about
But
those it happens organically for.
yeah,
Not at all. I am talking about those who do this specifically for that reason.
right,
And we do know they exist. They exist
right,
everywhere.
right.
But it's just, there's so much more to what we do. Because, and I think I said this maybe on last week's show, not every reading is going to be a sweet little grandma full of love and light.
They're not.
We are going to get some pretty difficult, traumatic things.
Yes.
That happen. Oh, Jess,
Yeah, perfect.
100%, Jess, 100%. There's no space for
Absolutely.
ego and mediumship.
Yeah.
And you know the types of clients that I've been getting,
Mm-hmm.
and I wouldn't wish that on other people.
Mm-mm.
I wouldn't. I now know why I get them, and that's okay, because that's what I'm meant to do for them.
Right.
But I wouldn't wish that on other people.
Right.
And it's something that I think is so misunderstood, because people are used to watching like Teresa Caputo or John Edwards or whoever, and they think, or Tyler Henry, and they think that's all there is to it.
Right.
And it's not.
You know, and I always go to my angels and stick to the higher vibrations. And
Hey, Anna.
Hey, Anna. And I don't want to know the bad stuff. I truly don't want to know, but I will tell you just an example. They will still give it to you in a way that is not harmful.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is I actually did a reading for a patient that was terminal. And within that reading, the grandfather came through, actually, gave me some really good validated information. But the question was asked of me, how long? What kind of, that just my heart just drops. Like I am not a doctor, number one. So I never will diagnose, although I am medical intuitive. So I do get those feelings and pick those things up, and I take them very seriously. But I find a way to communicate that in a non-threatening manner. It's all about discernment. And within this particular reading, it was, when should we travel? What should we do? And I just kept seeing a 6 and a 6. And I told him, I said, listen, I don't know if that means June 6th. I don't know if that means 6 months, 6 days. I don't know what this means, but they are showing me 6, 6. Turns out on June 7th last year, I get a phone call and the passing date was 6, 6. So they gave me the information. I had the information the whole time, but it was not giving to me in a manner that would harm them.
Right.
And that's so important, because you don't know what they're going to say, Jen. You don't know if they were an abusive partner. You don't know. Hey, Linda. You don't know when they come through what they're trying to elicit.
No.
And so discernment has to come into play, and ethics and morals have to.
Medical intuitive can be very hard. Yes.
Especially when it's with your own families. And, Jen, I just recently had that exact thing. Well, I had it with my father, and then I also just had it with my stepdad that passed a week and a few days ago. And it's incredibly difficult, and no one wants to hear that.
Stephanie brings up a really great point. Sometimes we have to keep some details to ourselves so we don't cause harm.
Absolutely.
And that is true. That circles right back into ethics. and really understanding what ethics actually is. Tammy, you know this story, but I attended a workshop that was supposed to be ethics in mediumship.
Right.
You also know that I had to walk out because it was anything but
Anything
ethics.
but ethics. Yeah.
And I was so annoyed by it that I left because I knew I was going to pop off. So I'm sorry, you guys, if you know me. I'm sorry, Tammy.
It's a very underrated part of mediumship. That's what I will say.
Well, and it's not taught.
Correct.
It's not taught. So I was really excited that this was being taught. But it was very clear, and this is nothing against the people who were teaching it, but it was very clear they didn't understand what ethics were. So you have to make sure that if you are training, if you're not being taught about ethics in mediumship, you need to start researching that yourself, because there's a lot of stuff online about it. And if you have a mentor you really love and they're not teaching it, ask them, hey,
Yeah.
so
Definitely.
tell us about ethics. What are the ethical considerations of this?
Yeah, and I can promise you, learning, you don't have to learn everything in order. You know, it's not, there's no specific order to learn it.
Yep.
You just have to learn it.
Yeah.
And it's tantamount and important and imperative to your growth and development as well.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Because, you know, and we'll see this quite a bit with mediums who do like live readings and stuff, like on their pages or their TikToks or whatever it is, right? Where it's very obvious that they're really green and they don't understand the ethics. And so they're saying things and blurting out things that are really questionable. So I'm very big on ethics in mediumship, because it comes back to do no harm.
Hey, Jen.
Hi, Jen. Welcome.
And yeah, and not only that, but I have a deeper sense of respect for the spirit world. And if I don't uphold my side of the coin, they won't uphold theirs.
That's right. That's right. They won't. So
there are millions of people out there with these gifts. Yeah. What are you doing with them? How are you practicing?
Yeah.
It's not a joke. It's not just a game or look at me, look what I can do.
No, it's not a party trick. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, there's those out there that have I mean, just like in anything, just like, you know, I'm not involved in any of the paranormal drama, thank God, keeping it that way. But it's like in anything, there's so many people ready to just slice your throat for one little off the cuff remark you may make in conversation. So you really have to watch how you phrase things, what you're doing. If you're really wanting to grow and be the best you can be at what you do, then it's important that you do that. You just can't sit back and be like, well, $50. Okay, moving on to the next one. Woohoo. You know, that's not even what it's about.
No, it's oh, Tabitha, thank you, sweetheart. Aw, thank you, honey. That's so sweet. No, it's not. And honestly, Tammy, we could sit here probably for 3
talk about this forever, but let's move on.
Oh yeah, Jen, there is no ego in what we do.
You're right, 100%.
Correct. Absolutely. That's not what the message in spirit is about. No. Absolutely, Jen, 100%. But I mean, this has been such a great conversation.
Let's talk
And
about the 15th.
yeah.
Jen and
What?
I are going to do Connections of the Heart, a gallery reading on the 15th, and it is from 2 to 4 EST, 1 to
Eastern?
3 CST,
Mm,
online. We're very excited about it.
I
And
am going to get the link now
yeah,
to get tickets. So you keep talking, Tammy.
so we are very excited about it. It's going to be a beautiful day of messages. We're doing this right after Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And do we still have our offer, our 2 for offer?
Yes.
Okay.
It's still good. It's
And
still good.
if you're like a husband and a wife, a sister and a brother, a sister and a sister, a friend and a friend, and you can be at the same location, then you can both attend for for one ticket price, which is 40.
Mm-hmm.
So you can double up then that way, and it really only costs you $20 a piece. Okay, so
All right. And
we
I
kind
am
of did
putting
that
the
in
link.
correlation with Valentine's Day.
All right, everybody, I'm putting the link to the Eventbrite where you can purchase tickets.
Joy. She said, Tammy has to remind me of the EST.
Yes, yes.
Oh, good, Joy. I love you.
Yeah, it's all good because I mean, I'm on the East Coast. Tammy is in Central Time out in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So we have to coordinate when we work together.
Yeah.
But Tammy and I have done galleries together before, and we work really well together. We have an amazing time. It absolutely enhances spirit and the energy when we work together. So I'm really excited to do this. And I really hope that as many people who are able to attend and want to attend join us, because it's going to be a beautiful afternoon. And it's something we both dearly love to do, which is gallery.
Mm-hmm.
So I am so excited about that.
Yes, it's going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome. All right. Well, we are almost at the hour, Tammy. Is there anything you want to share? Anything else coming up?
I mean, not really. I've perpetually been working on that website. Okay, here's what's funny, you guys. I have been doing all my work for the last 3 years, word of mouth. It's all just been word of mouth. It's keeping me busy, but yet it's also causing an issue with me being able to get anything done. So I am perpetually working on a website and an easier way to contact and reach me. I will be getting that done this year. Jen has been so lovely as to kind of say, "Hey, I'm going to keep you on track." So we've had a couple of issues in the family here recently. Like I said, I've had my stepdad passed. And
we're going to mention Jess in a moment.
Yes, and that was difficult, but I'll get back on track, and we'll have some new things coming out this year. I'm sure we'll do more galleries. We have some ideas. Also, intuitive endeavors. Intuitive endeavors is, since I have stepped away from the War and Legacy Foundation. I don't know how many of you all know that. There was just not an alignment with my path and what I wanted to do anymore. And there were some things with that. So I have stepped away from that. And now a number of us that were doing this in the support group there have now a psychic support group for psychic mediums and those alike called Intuitive Endeavors on Facebook. And we're continuing to do What's in the Box there, which is just a fun remote view activity every single week, among other many educational teachings, as well as we're going to start doing some classes and other things there to promote and help our members, as well as those of you that would like to join.
Oh, Jen, is this live stream shareable? Yes, Jen, actually, if you go to my YouTube, you can share it from there. And I am Jen Rose Medium on YouTube. Hang on, I'm going to put a couple of links. I'm going to link Intuitive Endeavors. Hold on.
And while you do that, I'll tell them too, I'm also available through Let It Shine Spiritual Wellness on Facebook. It's another group. We have a couple of mediums, and Carrie Hopper, Tom Owen, Zach Bennett, we're all kind of paired up there to kind of help people too, to do healing and different things. So that's another avenue that you can reach me, if not on my own page.
And I am going to share the link to my YouTube channel because this will be available there for replay. You can share it out. I have utterly no issues with that. If I can get to it. Oh, there was one other thing, and now I'm trying to remember what it was. Tammy, hang on.
Okay.
What was it? Oh my gosh.
We need to go back to and talk about Jess and her jewelry.
Yes, that's what it is. Could you tell them about Jess? Sorry, yeah. I have a squirrel brain.
So, so Jess Viscomi, she does custom creations for crystal jewelry. She does earrings, rings, necklaces, pendants, like you name it, she can do it. She's amazing. She's doing pendulums now, which I just ordered too, and they're going to be here like next week. I'm so excited. Yes, this is one of her necklaces right here that she did. You can see it's all wire wrapped, and this is a big labradorite in the middle here. She is amazing. She also just created me, and I think she'll probably be doing this for others when they see it, because it is gorgeous. It is it's like a fidget spinner necklace. So it's actually a round rutile quartz, and it will spin. So when you have it on, you can actually kind of fidget it and spin it, and it won't fall out. And then it has like a little fluorite in the top. And it's just one of those things, like, you know, I know when I go on paranormal investigations, I'm always doing this. Or something like, you know, and it's tactile. It's tactile because it gets me, it allows me to separate from the noise around me in a sense. And so that's something that I, for a long time, wanted to figure out, like how to have something that I can, you know, you just sit there and kind of play with it. It's a tactile activity, like washing dishes, and that's how you can tap in a lot easier sometimes when there's a lot of stuff going around you.
Absolutely.
So she just made me one. I'm so excited, and it's beautiful. And I love your work, Jess. And we
love you, Jess. I have several of Jess's pieces as well. They are fantastic. The quality is amazing.
Yes.
So please.
Fire Mountain Healing Jewelry.
Yes.
That's where you go for Jess.
Yes. And also she is reasonably priced as well.
Absolutely.
So, oh my gosh. But we love Jess. Yes, Jess is the best.
Joy has more than any of us. Joy should have bought stock in Jess.
Joy, she's gonna run 80 pendants.
She does. She's got so many.
I love that. Oh, Jess, we love you too, honey. Mwah, we love you too. Thank you for hanging out with us today.
And actually, like, everybody that's been on here today, all you guys are so sweet, so kind, and my heart and my thoughts and prayers and love to all of you, because, you know, you guys are the threads. You guys are the people that have inspired and kept me supported and lifted. And I have to let you know that there are times when I just literally turn around and go, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. Yeah. But yet you guys are the reason that I still do. So
yes, absolutely. And I agree with Tammy on that. Because it's hard. It's hard, but it's the people that keep me coming back. It's doing things like this because this is fun.
Right.
It can make you laugh. It can also bring you a little bit of education. I love to teach. I coach because I love working with people who are just developing their abilities.
Agreed.
And I mean, you can find everything I do is at jenrosemedium.com. Tammy is also an amazing coach. We do a lot of stuff together, which, you know, we love working together.
Thanks.
So, you know, she's one of my favorite people to work with, to actually do mediumship with.
Yeah. And I tell you, I have taken a million of classes myself over the course of the last, 7 years. And I truly find that I've started doing just one-on-one coaching. And I truly find that tailors it to that person's developmental level, and it increases and enhances them quicker than taking like 9 classes in a year.
Brittany, I love working with you too.
Aww.
Brittany is one of my one-on-one students, and I adore her, and she is amazing.
She is. She's a sweetie.
Also, yes, absolutely. Oh, Joy.
Thank you, Joy.
Thank you. One other thing, please, if you are not following my YouTube, if you could please go like it, because the more people we can get eyes on it, the more people we can reach and the more people we can help. And that really is what it's about. So it's about being able to help people. And that's where
absolutely,
it is.
Jen.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, Jen. And I remember meeting Jen in a Cindy Kaza class way back in the day.
I know.
Way back. So
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And Tammy and I, we have developed a strong connection, a strong friendship, really a sisterhood. So it's important if you're out there and you're kind of struggling to find your tribe, they're there. They're there. It may take some trial and error. You know, as I say, sometimes I have to keep people out of my blanket fort, but you will find
Did you call it a blanket fort?
Yeah, my blanket. No, like the kids, when you're kids and you make the blanket.
Yes, no, it totally took me back because I did that. I would make blanket forts all over the place.
Yeah. So, but it's so important. So please, you know, you guys be well. If you need either one of us, we're here. We're easy to find. Come join us on Intuitive Endeavors. We do a lot of fun stuff. If you are looking to enhance your intuition or work on your abilities, we have some fun exercises that we do. And, you know, either one of us or both of us can work with you. We just want to help people. And people need what we do right now.
That's
they do.
True.
They absolutely do. So, well,
love
you all. Tammy, I love you. I know you've got work to do this afternoon. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Tabitha.
Thank you, guys. Thank all of you
so much.
Jess, Brittany.
Thank you for being
Jen,
here.
Tabitha, all you guys.
All right. Tune in next week, every Thursday, noon to 1 Eastern time. You know, come join me. Occasionally, I'm going to have some special guests, and I've got a couple coming up in the future that are going to be fun. And Tammy, I'm sure, will be back with us. Please.
Of course. Stephanie.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Joy. Thank you. Love you too, Tabitha. Thank you, sweetheart. Jess, mwah, love you.
Linda.
Oh, take care,
you guys.
everybody. All right. We will see you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you.